Hello, hello. The slime will produce wisdom sludge that will let you level up. Okay, there's the today command for today. Hasten and Stella. And just like this morning, we're just going to get started. Never been one for long intros. All right, require the farm to be unlocked before getting the fishing pond. What unlocks the farm right now? We should probably make a new branch, by the way. Oh man, there are way too many tabs open. Let's just do this. All right, we should be on main. Yeah, get checkout -B. Farming and fishing changes. All right, and then let's add a task at the end of all of this saying merge the branch and switch back to main. Surprised to get that one. So I was cutting fabric. Is that looking at my screen? What you making? All right, this might already be done. I actually don't recall. We show the farm sign. Show farm sign. What calls this? Show all remaining signs. Debug show all signs. This should be after beating the first boss, I think. Oh, that's what I was trying to plan. Is what is the unlock order for signs? Yeah. What is the unlock order for signs? So beginning of the game is the garbage slime and the town hall. Then after the first boss is elite boss. Warehouse, shop, enchanter. All right, warehouse, armor shop, enchanter, farm. I think we get rid of the enchanter. Save this for later. I'm not sure. What kind of fursuit's your job? Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. I am not skilled at any kind of any like, I don't know, clothing, mending, tailoring. And my wife has just gotten into crocheting and knitting. And someday I'd like to try knitting, but I'm not going to try yet. I have too many other things to do right now. I think we should save this for later. Tavern. What does if applicable mean? It's greater than 0? What? Why does this exist? What? I don't understand that. Okay, I see. I see how this works. This is as long as you've beaten at least 0 of these things. Shouldn't this be a problem then for practically anything? Yeah, we should have just said if this is greater than 0. Oh, God. This is all just the worst. Okay, this is something I'm going to probably clean up afterward. Clean up. This should be deleted. We should instead... Maybe I should just make this change now. I just don't want to ruin anything, and this isn't really the task right now. So this is if the number of elites is greater than 0, show the tavern sign. This stuff should... This doesn't even show the tavern sign. What in the world? All right, well, that should be greater than 0, I guess. Yeah. And then we change all of this. So this should say show tavern sign. Does this? Yep, that works. Okay, so now the if applicable part can be deleted. Yep. Which is going to cause an error up here. We just delete that. And presumably just delete this too. Yeah. This should look a lot better. So this shows the sign for this no matter what. But then reflect current building status might hide this. Yeah. All right, I think this will work. The enchanter sign too. Wait a second though. This means that there should have been a bug before all of this. Yeah. Yeah, because it said equals 1. Oh, but then there's show all remaining signs. Shows the enchanter sign. Okay, I see. Yeah, this was stupid. We should just do it this way. I've seen this stream before. Again, who cares? Hey, Kevin. Gonna get Monday for sure. I wouldn't say that. The reign of Kevin has ended. All hail Sinistello. Why it's trying to delete this? I don't know why that would happen. Oh yeah, so I guess we can delete this from cleanup here. This should fix this code from being stupid. And it also deletes 10 lines of code, which is nice. We should test this, but we're going to be doing some like proper testing later too. All right, so right off the bat, everything is showing. It shouldn't be, but that's because of a debug thing that we have running. So we have, strange, right? Everything is still showing. What? Do I just have it set to always show everything? Yep, I do. Okay, well, that makes sense. Really hoping we can fly through some of these tasks. All right, good. So we have no signs showing right now. We're going to go beat the first boss. And now the tavern should be showing. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, so save and load. It should still be showing. Good. Now let's go beat all of the other locations. Upgrade, upgrade, start battle. Now save and load. The tavern should still show up. Good. But strangely, the farm and the fishing pond do not. Oh, because there was an else if there. Oh. Okay, I'm glad we tested that. Yeah, nice. That'll do it. All right, so then we deleted 9 lines of code. Or maybe, yeah, 9 lines of code. All right, so we load this. We should see all the signs. Good, 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 good. Yep. Is there the Explorer up there? No, that one still only shows if you've met a certain condition. Same thing with the garbage slime, actually. Asiatic. No one am I following? Like even the 1,000 viewer ones don't have 1-minute ads. Come on. These don't even get blocked by uBlock anymore. So the ads, I don't know if you know how Twitch does this stuff, but there are the option for pre-roll ads, and the only way to turn off pre-roll ads, although maybe you can't hear anything I'm saying. Hang on, let me type this. Can you hear me now by any chance? Because I suspect the answer to that is no. Oh, you do hear me. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so in order to turn off pre-roll ads, you need to run 3 minutes of ads every hour. And they have like an auto scheduler, and this is what I use. I used to have pre-roll ads on, which meant that you, I think, wouldn't get ads after you started the stream, but you would always get them when you started the stream. And basically, it's you're gonna bother somebody, right? Like, I only have control over these settings so much. And there's no way to turn off ads, just to be clear. And I have it set to the minimum amount to not have them show at the beginning of the stream. So that's at least a clarification from the streamer's point of view. From Twitch's point of view, it's like they want to push turbo and subscriptions on you, right? So like, yeah, their goal is to not let uBlock work anymore. But yeah, I haven't set it to anything higher than the minimum I need to not have pre-roll ads. I don't really care too much about the ad money. All right, so this is just clean up some code. Hey again, M2. Clean up some sign code. We had a sort of strange structure for handling when you'd beaten a certain number of bosses. The worst thing is I need turbo for this. Prime doesn't cut it. Yeah. I mean, this is, in my mind, this is like a sort of a fact of all the streaming services at this point now. How much does turbo cost now? 13 bucks a month with tax, 12 without. Yeah. I think of it as it's essentially supporting each individual streamer less, but if you watch a lot of different Twitch channels, then it's the best deal for you. And I used to have Turbo when it was, I think it was part of Prime. I think that's why I got Prime. And then when they got rid of that, I mostly just kind of stopped watching Twitch. Because I don't think I watched enough to justify that amount of money. Okay. So require the farm to be unlocked before getting the fishing pond, and this should show after beating the first boss. So we're going to say show farm sign. And I think we get rid of the enchanter from this. And then show the enchanter sign in this, show all remaining signs. So enchanter's there, farm doesn't need to be there. Fishing pond should only show up if you have unlocked the farm. So this is done. This is done, but we also need the farm to be unlocked. So we need to know when you've beaten a boss or when you have... What is this? Oh, sure. Wait. Yeah, sure. Or when you've unlocked the farm. Okay. Yeah. Why would I watch any other streamers? No, I certainly don't mind if other people watch other streamers. Probably just expensive as a business expense. Hey, Poolbox. Yeah, you always have to be careful about that stuff. I don't know for sure. I think you live in Canada. I'm not positive, but in the US, at least a lot of the way that this stuff breaks down is there is a like a percent usage of some resource, right? So like my internet, I can expense about 30% because that's about how much I use for work. But like I can't deduct any of the square footage. They have something about an exclusive, what is it? Like exclusive office space in your home. And I'm not exclusively using it for office stuff. So I can't ever deduct that. Anyway, most people do anyway. They just ignore the exclusive part and they're like, yeah, I use this for just office stuff. But that's taxes for you, right? It's very easy to cheat them sometimes. So yeah, I could probably deduct some portion of Twitch stuff, but actually I don't do any of it for work. Yeah, I use it all for fun, I guess. You deduct marketing material in your country, right? Yeah, you can if you're paying for it for marketing, but I would be paying for Twitch Turbo just to watch like Hearthstone streams or something. I don't think Twitch Turbo does anything for you as a streamer. I guess it gives you a badge. But yeah. Okay, do we have any other events in here that I can key off of? There's when you build a building, upgraded. Yeah, so we need to know when you built the farm, because that's when we need to potentially show this shop. Town.built. Isn't there a farm thing here? Unlocked farm. Yeah. Unlocked farm. Gives you longer saved VODs. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't feel like it's a worthwhile thing for me to do. Okay, so if you've unlocked the farm and you've beaten a certain number of bosses, how do we figure out how many bosses you've defeated here? Oh, I guess either of these should potentially be the show fishing pond sign. Fish. Yeah, so the pond needs to be null and the farm needs to be not null. And the number of elites you need to have beaten needs to be more than 1. And then we show this thing. So unlocked farm is just going to be show the fishing pond sign. But it's a conditional. Unlocked farm. How do you like this split keyboard? I love it. I think it's great. Also, I hate macOS support. I'm sorry, Poolbox. For what it's worth, I did play your game on Android, and I did plan on talking to you about it when you came in. I think it's neat. I have various feelings about incremental games as a whole. And I think one of the issues, and I kind of ran into this game with your game for a little bit, is that you get upgrades so quickly sometimes that you don't read what they do or you don't know what they do necessarily. So like I got the auto click thing, but I couldn't read the description fast enough. Or rather, I like clicked through it too quickly or something like that happened. And I was like, oh man, what did that do? And that's why I expressed my confusion about when I'm touching and dragging, is it clicking rapidly? But yeah, and it's cool to have all the itch comments there. I think that's really neat. Hey, dog. Okay, so We need to do this also when you beat a boss, which is this. So show all remaining signs. Is this only ever called from here? It's also called in debug show signs. Oh, which means there's no way to force the fishing pond sign to show. We can write special code for that though. So this technically will work. Yeah, this technically will. All right. There's one other thing I needed to test here though. Oh yeah, that's right, the debug thing. Debug show signs. Yeah, we want to force show this one, but only if you don't have the pond. If town.fishing pond is null, then show this. Yeah, so we don't run the typical condition for this. Ignore the other conditions for showing the sign. All right, let's try this out. Want to turn it from a 5-minute experience to something closer to an hour with a demo than more for a game. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to do that expansion because that's the reason I kind of just froze there for a second is because this is sort of like what's happening for Skelecoding. We had checkpoint, I don't know what it was, like 3 or 4, and I don't know when this was, months ago. And that's when people said things like, I want more of the game. And it's cool to make an experience that people like that is X minutes or hours long. But it's kind of hard to do like X times Y minutes or hours and not just like stretch the content a little bit more. Because one way you could make it take an hour is unfun. You would just be like, oh, you earn 1/60th the amount, or well, I guess in your case, 1/12th the amount of resources. So now it's going to take an hour. But like, obviously you can't just do that infinitely. So yeah, it's like coming up with new systems, new ways of unlocking things, new like toys for people to play with. And I think that's kind of what the incremental genre is all about, is the whole give you a shiny thing, have you interact with it for a bit, and then have you move past it. And I don't think that's necessarily the case in every game. I think in other games, it can just be like introduce new stuff that you're still constantly interacting with because you're playing the game manually. So it's like you unlock a dodge roll and it's like, well, now you can use the dodge roll. And you probably should for the rest of the game. And also to sell premium gems to reduce the grind. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a weird genre overall. Okay, so we have 2 things to test here. One is if we've beaten all of the bosses. Oh man, I gotta turn this off again. Did I even check this in? Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Are you asking me or Fullbox? Because for me, I'm planning on pricing this about $10, but I'll have to wait and see exactly how that pans out. I've been taking, where is this? I've been taking these survey responses here, and this is what people voted for. I think all this is visible, right? Yeah. So how much would you pay for the game if I extended it? And some people didn't really know how to interpret this question, so it's kind of hard to answer. But most people said less than $9. So it's like, what's that, like 60-ish% of people? Yeah, 60% of people said less than $9. About 40% said they'd pay between 10 and 14. And this one person, I think, didn't understand the question. They took it to mean that I'd like gate content somehow and that they would have to pay for the content. And anyway, I don't know. Who did this go out to? So I've done a different one of these. This is like the 6th version of this survey. This has gone to people who've played the game already. So after playing it, what did they think? How much would they pay for what they played with their own kind of extrapolation put on top of it? I think closer to launch, this will start to be clearer to people. I'll be like, okay, I'll just share this with some people and say, okay, how much would you have paid for that game? Could argue Stardew Valley is an incremental game, just in different form and interaction. Yeah, definitely. And this is kind of how you can argue that like every Zelda game is an RPG, but probably you wouldn't think of them as RPGs typically if you just kind of had this in your mind. But there's a lot of genre overlap, and the definition for what makes something a genre is usually a little hazy. Okay, so now we don't have any of the signs showing. I want to go beat the bosses. So we're going to do this. And then get us some more money. and go beat the next boss. And the fishing pond sign does not show up. But once I build the farm, it should show up. Yeah, so there's the fishing pond sign. Okay, now we need to do it the opposite way, which is that we build the farm and then we beat the bosses. So let's go try that. Okay, so we first beat the first boss. Then we build the farm. Now the fishing pond sign does not show up yet. But when we beat the next boss, it should. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Yeah, that's working. All right, so that's everything here. Require the farm to be unlocked before showing the fishing pond. Done. We don't need that to be checked in. Okay. Change requirements for some signs, I'll say. The farm requires beating one boss, and the fishing pond requires both the farm to have been built and for 2 bosses to have been defeated. Okay. Merge the extractor and the seed maker into just one extractor. So this is a shame. This GGS is turning into an X, and with it goes a pun. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. All right, so to get this to work, we have the seed maker right there. It's no longer going to be a seed maker. Where is it? Here? Oh God, there was an inheritance hierarchy for this. Oh no. It's not like that complicates the task. It just means I'm deleting more code. I always find it sad to delete code when requirements change. Like this would have been perfect. It was working. Everything was great. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's delete one of these machines. And now there's no reason for there to be inheritance here. Inspired me with this game. Fired up Click Team Fusion again and noodling around in the Nihilish game. Love making these associations. I'm glad to hear it, Wendy. Except for you got to finish Star Gunners. Or else who's going to ever have Jet Force Gemini 2? So how do we want this to work? The farm contains a reference to the seed maker, I think. Yeah, and it has an on-clicked thing here. What does that do? On-clicked seed maker and toggled seed maker. What is clicking the seed maker? Oh, that's for dropping items onto it. Okay, that's fine. And then toggling the seed maker, what does that do? Item machine. Okay, that's fine too. This shouldn't be too bad. We might get done with a lot of this in the afternoon. The question is, who should own the extractor? The farm or something else? It shows up when you build the farm, but the fishing pond also uses it. Probably the town should own it. Town should own it, I think. Let me think about that. Then when we initialize this, we just pass in the item machine. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Star Gunners is the first 60 hours of the week. Man, I don't know how you do it. Yesterday I was working for maybe like half the day. And then I got overwhelmingly tired and just took a nap. And then I guess I worked in the evening again. So I probably ended up working a regular day, but I was feeling pretty guilty up until then because of the nap. No, not nice, Wendy. That's what I'm saying. Not nice. You're full time on the project? Yeah, I have been since I started it. I just have been kind of splitting my attention a little bit here and there. Originally, I was doing interviews, I was doing mentoring, and I was doing some content creation, and then this stuff. And this all just changed a little bit in terms of ratios. So interviewing is down to 0%. Mentoring is, I don't even know what, but it's going to start up again. I've got a private session tomorrow with somebody. So maybe we say like twice per month at this point. Hard to say. Content creation is once per week. And this is at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday on stream. Any extra time afterward. Good nap or bad nap? Sometimes naps can take you out. No, it was a good nap. I like the nap. I just felt guilty. It's only, yeah, only so much I can nap and not do work. Everything I can do to help. Not sure what that could be, but I'd always be happy to try and help if you ever needed. Just throwing it out there. Well, thanks, Wendy. Yeah, if you could take 60 hours away from Star Gunners and divert it to this game, and then do all the stuff you're doing on your own incremental also for this game, and any extra money you have, I think just funnel toward advertising. Yeah, I think that'll be great. No, I appreciate it, Wendy. I don't think there's anything that I have in mind for right now. The thing I might ask for eventually is playing it on stream, either as research or as advertising. I'm not totally sure. But even just the research would probably be good, because I know you said you like this style of game, and as far as I know, you haven't played it yet. So yeah, this would probably be the sort of thing I'd ask for. Yeah, and thank you. How many arrows do we need? I said, watch you beginning of COVID. Has a lot changed for you since then? Oh, beginning of COVID. So that's right before I went to work for Google. So I was streaming maybe twice a year for about 3 years. So it's very, very rare. And then I quit. How much of the game's done? That's really hard to answer. I think we're probably about 6 months away from any realistic sort of launch. Yeah. It's kind of more Skelecolor content. Well, the new content that I'm talking about, by the way, is YouTube Shorts. I finally started getting into them. And they're doing okay. I'm just releasing like tips and stuff. And across all of them, they've got about 9,000-ish views, something like that, which is not great for shorts. By the way, the monetization of shorts, I still find hilarious. The CPM is like 20 cents, if that, which means that 5,000 views gives you a whopping $1. It's so funny to me. I spend hours making videos and it's like, here's 50 cents, Adam. Oh, gee, thanks, Google. Anyway, that's not why I'm making the videos. It's not for money. I just still find it hilarious that that's how that works out. Anyway, we're going to add in the seed maker here, and we're probably going to just call it item machine, or maybe call it extractor or something. Is there a reason to separate these things out? They all have different scripts, don't they? Yeah, so what does seed maker do differently from the other ones? This gets initialized with a farm. Oh, the fishing pond may not exist. I don't think I've ever had a single video get over 1,000 views total. The scale is totally different with shorts. I don't know if you tried shorts, but if you were to release a short about like, hey, here's an art technique I use, or here's, I don't know, kind of just anything almost, it's like, it probably will get views if there's some value in watching it. And it's probably gonna be way more than if you made a long form video. Because just the activation energy of like, you scroll up and you get a new video and you get a new video and you get a new video, that's way less than just how regular YouTube works. You have to like pause the video, move to a different part of the screen, or search for something, or go to a different section of YouTube to get to a feed. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying it out. I'll see if it does anything. I will show you some stats in case you're curious, because this is what I was kind of wondering about here. If I go in any of these videos, so like this one got the most views, 4,600-ish views. This is what's kind of interesting to me. 7 subscribers. I mean, like I said, I don't really care about the money. I got less than $1 for this. But I want it to convert into Skelecolor wish lists, which is very difficult to do, especially given that this is not necessarily game dev content. This one did a lot better. Actually, I didn't even notice this. This is 15 new subscribers. And then this is the newest one. This is a very quick video. This got 1 subscriber. Although it's still going up a little bit at least. So it'll probably get another 1,500 views or something. And maybe another couple subscribers. I don't know. Transforms your long form into short form for you. Probably, but I don't really have a lot of long form content, and making new long form content is very tough, unless you mean take it from the streams, in which case maybe that would be helpful. Stop crying when you're an indie dev. What's the cheapest ramen on the market? How to season your food with the salt from your tears. It's all about repurposing. Okay, so the problem we're going to have by refactoring this is that I want both of these sets of functions to be in one class, I think. And I just feel a little uneasy about this. Update fish count. One thing that modifies it. Sorry, I'm just thinking about this. We've got to have it. How does a will accept item work for these things? It accepts potions, and then we either need this to be true or for this to be true. I wonder if we should connect these as like input sources or something like that. Are death threats normal as an indie game dev? I don't think I've gotten death threats. I've gotten a lot of stupid people over the years, though. So currently we have item machine and then seed maker and extractor. And they each have their own conditions for these things. Get item quantity to be accepted. This is what's overridden from here. I see. And this is going to be combined as well. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. Where's this called from? Turn an item. There's no load from save file. That seems like a mistake. Yeah, that definitely seems like a mistake. Why didn't we do that? Yep, 100%. It seems like a mistake, which I guess we're about to fix. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so in the new system, I think we'll make an extractor that has the combination of these functions. Yeah, that's what I think we're gonna do. Hey, Viewbot. I don't think this was your doing, Kevin, right? I'm pretty sure I forgot to modify this. Because I'm pretty sure I did this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't mean to sound super critical. I assumed that I did it, which is why I sound critical when I do that. I try to be overly harsh on myself and not of other people. And more like unprocessed long form Twitch content. Yeah, I think I need to figure out what the value even is. The problem is I don't watch shorts, so I don't know what the mindset is of people watching them or what they're looking for. But even if I did watch them, I probably wouldn't be watching the kind of content that I create. I tend to just steer away from the kind of stuff I create for whatever reason. I don't tend to play idle games. I don't tend to play automation games, I guess. I don't tend to watch other tech content creators for their tech content. It's mostly just for them. Oh, I've gotten a few stupid people. Okay, good. As long as it doesn't sound like I'm blaming you for code. Yeah. All right, then let's make a new extractor here, right? Move the extractor so it looks like I can write both. Change the logic. All right, let's do that. So save this as extractor.cs. And save, these are both pretty much the exact same thing, right? Yeah, I don't even know what the difference is, but that's fine. We're going to save this as, oh, I see, they're in different places too. Is this in the farming stuff? Yeah. Where does this go then? I think we put it in the farm folder, but we have the town own it. Yeah. All right, so there's extractor. We got to run the UID tool by the end of this stuff. I gotta write that down. Run UID tool. Maybe someone asked you a question. Yeah, so those sorts of things, I think I'm going to try to be more mindful of in the future. If someone asks me a question here on Twitch and I think it's got some more universal appeal, I think I'm going to try to turn it into a short. So if someone's like, hey, how did you make your entity component system or something? I mean, that's probably hard to fit into a short form content, but at least I'll probably write it down as an idea for the future. Like, here's what I can make. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I want to keep an eye on. All right, so this is an extractor. And then we give this that script. So this is called extractor. Extractor. Done. Okay. Hey, Chef Alton. How'd you make your entity component system? It's already written down. I'll get to it eventually. So when you build the farm, we're going to give you this thing too. And then we're going to pass it to wherever it's needed. Does that make the most sense? It has to have a farm associated. It doesn't have to have a fishing pond associated. Oh, but then the farm also has a reference to the extractor, right? Yeah, but why? So it can get initialized. Okay, it's gonna probably change a bit. And so that it can pass this stuff into the town. Yeah, both these things are listened to from town. And there's a load from save data there too. Interesting, interesting, interesting. And we save this from here. Item machine save data. The item machine itself is not what's helpful here, is it? Accumulated value. God. Oh, how do we do that? Oh, yeah, here's a little problem I didn't think of. I think we need to keep track of two accumulated values here. The seed accumulated value and the fish accumulated value. Which means this is not item machine save data, it's extractor save data. Yeah. Making video games is what the video game might be when all review is sales. Is this intentionally word spaghetti? Should I be trying to piece that apart? And yeah, the utility things I think could be good for shorts. I think it needs to be clear from the video itself what the technique is and not like, oh, here's a GitHub repo to go look through this stuff, which is a step I just didn't want to take yet. Speaking from experience. Random question about game dev I'm willing to stop and watch for. Interesting. I'll write that down. Bridge note. Why did that not work? When you just hit the autocomplete next word. Probably. So we make extractor save data and keep track of both of these things. I'm still piecing all this together. Give me a sec. Anything else that we need? Just load from save data. So then what happens with the extractor? It has a reference to the thing that it needs to go modify. Okay. Okay. I think I know what I'm going to do. Farm is here. We probably... I'll start by making this public. I don't know if it's going to end public. Let's write it down, though, so I don't forget. Consider whether the extractor should be public in town. All right, so when you make the farm, it's going to make the extractor. It's going to be a totally different scene. It's going to go to a different location, which means it could just exist by default in the town and just be turned off. Yeah. Maybe we do that. Problem is, I don't know exactly where it should go, so... We either put a node here and then create it later, or we just create it at the very beginning. Probably just creating the node actually makes sense though. It's pretty much what we're doing these signs. Yeah, I'll add a new node. Hey, Headhunter, how'd the stream go today? Welcome in. Thanks for the raid. Any interesting resumes come across your path? Hey, TIE Fire. Like the name. We're working on a game called Skelecoding here, and we're going to be coding some changes to the fishing and farming systems that we have. And it's a lot of what I'm about to say won't make a lot of sense without knowing how the game plays. But we have a farming system here, and you plant seeds and you can harvest crops. And we have a fishing system here, and you can get fish out of this pot. That's the short story. And what we're eventually going to do is funnel this into like a food system that will let you level up adventure as you get in the game. And we have to make a lot of this stuff work. Someone went from chief design officer to front end dev intern. Whoa. Were they a chief design officer at their own company though, where you can just make up your own titles? And hey, okay. Yeah, welcome in everybody. We are doing a lot of coding here. All right, I think what I want to do is I want to add in a node just to represent where this thing is going to go. And we take its position. That's the only part I'm just not certain about how I want to do this. Also not sure where I want to add the building. I guess there's already a buildings node. I can just put this here. We could put something like extractor position. Yeah. We want this somewhere around here. I'm just going to put it there for now. We can figure this out later. They were. Okay, yeah. It's hard to tell, which is like 90% of my advice to make it clear. Yeah, I think what you're doing is probably helping a lot of people. And not just the people you're talking to, which I'm sure you know, but the people who are watching who are in a similar situation. I think it's one of the nice things about streaming in general. All right, I'm still torn on this. Should this building just always exist, or should it have to get created? But to be honest, I don't think it makes a huge difference. So let's get this. When you create the farm, we're going to make a create extractor. Create extractor. All right, we need this to exist now. Scene paths. This has its own folder. I guess it's next to the farm, right? Yeah, so we could put this here. Extractor. All right, take care, Headhunter. Yeah, thank you for the raid. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you have a good weekend. This is going to need to exist. But the positioning of this is going to be equal to get node to D extractor position, not global position. It would just have to be the position, although I guess it's in a different node. So I guess we set the global position of each of these things. Let's try that. What else did it take in? A fishing pond? I think so. But I think that's going to be problematic. And then I had the name of the machine. This is going to be extractor now, which should be localized. All right, let's do it. Localized messages. Added as a child of extractor position, and you can forget about the position. Yeah, but I think it should be in the buildings node. So the question is, should the extractor position node be in the buildings node? Because I want all the buildings to be on the same layer. So we just call this extractor name, I guess. Extractor. Delete all this stuff. Import these things. Good. And wait for it. Good. And then instead of doing this, we say messages.get extractor name. There we go. And now it requires the fishing pond. I guess let's just give it a fishing pond for right now. Fishing pond, which is going to be null. So we got to make sure we do this correctly, which is technically not possible without cheating. But let's start with that. Does this even build? It does build. All right, so the only way to do this is to build this first and then build the farm. And that'll put an extractor somewhere over here-ish. I don't see it at all. Did it fail? Did I name it correctly? Extractor is in game scenes town farm. Game scenes town farm extractor. Yeah. Oh, I never added it. Of course. All right, let's look at create farm. I add it first. Yeah. So buildings dot add. Done. Let's try that out. Yeah, like I said, I don't know where we want this thing positioned. We need pipes coming off of it that go into the, I guess, into the farm and into the fishing pond. I'm not super concerned about that stuff, but this should at least show up somewhere. It still is not. Unless it is and it's just not visible. Maybe it's underneath this thing. That is possible. It's also possible I just never called this function. Well, that's what debugging is all about, right? All right, so clear ground for building, create the extractor, yeah. And I got to make a task that says to load and save this stuff correctly. All the accumulated value that was in here. Edit. Make sure we've saved / loaded this correctly. So you want to challenge me in getting the right screen grab without having access to the OBS sources? I think it'd be tough, but I feel like the tougher problem is just finding something that's worthwhile to share. But this is, I think maybe it was you who mentioned this, but someone mentioned the quantity over quality kind of thing. I guess if it's not causing any negative impact to your channel, that producing more videos is probably a good thing. I can see some negative impact it could have to have like low value videos, which is that maybe someone stumbling on your channel is then less likely to stay because they find a clunker. Or someone's trying to find the high value videos and they just need to sort by view count at that point instead of just looking through any of them. But I guess you can always just remove those from your channel if you find out they're not performing well. It's very interesting. These are the kinds of things that always kind of makes me wonder, like how many content creators would be bigger if they just had better editing or better or more content. Not even that they make more content, just that more of their content exists out there. So like I make Twitch streams, but then I don't turn them into YouTube videos. How long have I been developing this game? It's been about a year. Okay, yeah, did this work? Okay, extractor position. This comes from the town node, not from whatever we're trying to get, which I think we have a town node. Yeah, we do. All right, that should fix this. I would assume most of them. Those are some pretty broad parameters. Well, what I mean is there's probably some content creator out there who already has an editor and is already producing pretty much as much content as they could be. And they're not going to be benefited by an editor or by more content. They're going to be benefited by improving their quality or something like that. Like that was the key point. They're probably just bad content creators. And it doesn't matter how much more bad content they put in the world. They need to improve their content first. But how many people have good enough content where they just need more of it or for it to be presented better? I recognize it was vaguely stated. So they're bad, it wouldn't impact your experience. Yeah, but you're probably also not the target audience for any of their shorts then. All right, cool. So we got the second extractor. So this needs to be moved somewhere to the right and probably down a bit. Oh, yeah, it's this one. Yeah, this means same thing though. It needs to be moved to the right and down. But yeah, neat. Okay, cool. All right, well, I guess let's move it. Then we need to refactor a bunch of code. How much work is needed after this stuff? Actually, a decent amount. Yeah. Well, let's see how long my brain will stay fresh for. Do people also look at shorts within a specific channel? Probably. I probably have stats on that even for my shorts, but it's not something I've looked at. All right, I opened this from the editor so I could do this. I can move the editor over here now and then just move where this node is and then figure out where it should go. So we want to drag this to the side. And then we need there to be a fire slime somewhere too. So there are 2 drop-off points here. There's going to be this extractor, and there's going to be the chef slime thing. Well, the positions don't need to be final either way. I guess let's just put this into the blank space we have right now. So like there's pretty good. Right? Is that good? Then where do we put the slime though? Like there maybe? Yeah, that could work. Yeah. Okay, so let's get the position for this. This is 100, 456. Is this divisible by 16? No, but it is divisible by 8. Yeah, so hang on a second. 100, 456. So that's what we got to go use over here. Okay, done with that. So now that's been positioned. Move it so it looks like it can supply both. Should probably use pipe graphics. Yeah, that stuff we're going to save for later, I guess. The extractor should probably have pipes going to the farm and the pond. The pond pipes should only show after building the pond. What's the purpose of all the forests and space around the town? None right now. Just setting. That's all. I mean, it also serves as like our playground for adding in new stuff. So once everything's built, the perimeter of your town is this big, if you don't count the guild. So it's like this oval that you see here. Or to put it in terms you'd understand, an egg shape. But we could always expand out here with more systems if we ever want to. And like you don't even acknowledge a shorts tab. My boyfriend is someone who enjoys short form content, does actually watch them. Yeah, I think my wife watches shorts, although I'm not sure on what. I think either Instagram or TikTok or both. And she'll show me cat shorts every once in a while. And those I enjoy. There was a video of a little kitten that was watching a video of a cat lick themselves. And the kitten was like hesitantly licking itself to try to learn how to clean itself. It was one of the most adorable things I've ever seen in my life. Well, flaunt your wealth, why don't you? When he's like, oh ball? Like the chocolate drink from a while ago? Nice to be showing shorts and TikToks you would enjoy. Not suddenly realizing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my wife curates all of the shorts for me to watch and just trims it down to cat videos. And even then, I don't like all of them. I'm sure no one watches it every single short that stumbles on their feed and loves them all. But yeah, whenever she tries showing me something else, I'm like, this is dumb. I want cat videos. she anyway, it's not worth going into this more. All right, we'll do the pipes thing afterward. Change the logic for will accept item. Okay, here's where things get a little bit more difficult. So the farm will no longer have a seed maker here. When we initialize this thing, we're going to need to initialize these such that the town listens for this stuff. Has his own short curator. Hey, she knows what I like, and it's cat videos. She told me there's apparently something that you can use. You take a picture of your cat and it like extrapolates backward to when they were a kitten. Because we didn't have Abby when she was a kitten, and we're very curious what she looked like. So I'm curious if this tool is pretty close to doing that well. So on clicked, this came from, oh, this came from here. Oh, wait, now the town could just listen to this directly, right? On clicked and toggled lever. So we bump these down to the bottom. I'm going to copy this, put this down there. So how's this going to work? Just like that. Player held item, click destination. This should take the right things in, right? It doesn't. Because we need to pass in the extractor. Yeah. And then toggling it. What did that do? Toggled item machine not invoked. Oh god. There's so much that needs to change. So this is not toggled item machine anymore. We got to rename this. I'll write this down for this commit. Should probably be renamed since we only have the extractor now. So now this stuff doesn't need to exist. And now if we could have just made this work with the farm. I guess we can test it with the fishing pond. But we got to delete this. We got to delete this entirely from the scene too. What am I doing? And we got to delete the scenes themselves. So much. Okay, goodbye. Same thing for the fishing pond. Delete wherever that thing is. Right there. Man, we got to probably rework the map too. Follow-up work. Rework the nav tiles on the map. Probably more than that, but reposition these things. You all see that? His command palette was in the middle of the screen. Hey, Matt. If only someone had a short form video to watch on a hit new channel on YouTube. Okay, so we deleted both those things. We got to delete the other scenes too. This should be gone. As should the scripts eventually. So I got to remember to do that. Delete extractor and seed maker scripts. I guess we could just write .cs in here and not need scripts. We're getting there. We are getting there. Done with that. Seed maker. Done with that. Delete this. Hey, Luke. Oh, can't hear me. Same time I'm dancing as fast and furiously as I can muster. Sorry, there's already a hit movie franchise with that title. It's called, I believe, Fast and Furious. But you could do something else. Okay. I'm trying not to lose my train of thought. I'm doing a bad job at it. Farm does not need a seed maker anymore. We delete this. We delete every reference to a seed maker. Load from save data. That's got to be done. It's not on the farm anymore. Save data can't save this stuff. And fishing pond save data can't save the item machine stuff anymore. The town should save it. So this won't be needed. Something needs to load it. It needs to load that data too. So I guess just delete that and this and this and this and this and this. And hope that nothing needed that. What do we have? This one reference? How will we fix this? We'll need a save data from here. Do we even have save data? Yeah, it comes from the parent though. Not anymore. Now it comes from the child. And this needs to be put here. And then it needs to be changed quite a lot. The lever is private. Where did, oh, there it is. The lever is private. All right, well, that's a problem too. My dreams are ruined. Hey, Wendy, have you seen that onion sketch? Hang on, let me just find this. God, I love this video. I just love the idea of this joke. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how to mute this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's for Wendy. Could let the top shorts comment, pick the song you have to dance to. It's a good idea. Do you stream save as VODs? Yes, they do. Yeah, they're on Twitch. When new bits equals dehydrate. When people give 500 bits, I either increase the temp of the room or put on another t-shirt or put salt on your tongue. Every 500 bits is another teaspoon of salt. 1,000 bits and you put it in your eyes. That's how you get rich. I found a picture of Wendy online. Zing. All right. We can't save this anymore. This can't be part of this. Farm save data. Took item machine data. We just don't save this here anymore. And we need to put this into something inside of town. So wherever farm save data is used. Yeah, here. Okay, so we'll put this alongside it. We'll call this extractor save data. This doesn't exist though. We need to save this as extractor save data and name it that. And then save, save accumulated seed value and accumulated fish value or fish egg value. Or should this work differently entirely? Maybe it's just accumulated value and it gets put into whatever needs it. That's a smart idea. That's a very smart idea. Yeah. Okay, I take this back. I guess we don't need this. Or at least not now. I'll just keep it for now because I can always delete it when I go to commit. Delete this if I didn't use it. This is awesome. Yeah, I love some of their sketches. And the guy who plays Jim Haggerty is a really, really funny actor. Hey, Abramp. Or Abram P. How do you pronounce your name? It's pretty funny, Matt. Okay, so we save this in here, but I guess it's item machine save data. We call it extractor save data. And then we do the exact same thing we just had from something like this. Extractor save data. Extractor dot save data. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, so this is gonna be protected. Put this down here. And then rename it. And do a get probably a private set. In fact, I'm not even sure why. No, that makes sense. All right, hides inherited member. Oh, drat, we don't even need that anymore. Whoops. Okay, whoops. I forgot that I made a different assumption here. All right, just get rid of all this. Hey, Zapoid. Okay, now what? Now we can delete this? Yeah, great. So the farm is done as far as I'm concerned. Fishing pond is not done. Go fix that up. There should be something about an extractor here. Yeah, this all needs to be gone. Hopefully nothing used this outside of this class because it was public and I strongly suspect that something used it. So toggle the extractor is not going to be a thing anymore. And then clicking the extractor is not going to be a thing anymore. This is going to be a hoot to test. Just a hoot. Well, we're getting there. Okay. Fishing pond has been fixed up. Now, town needs to load the extractor the way that it loads all this other stuff. There should be something. Oh, I guess there's something maybe a little confusing about this, huh? The farm is responsible for building the extractor, but then it's not responsible for saving the data. So I guess we have to put this here, right? Extractor.load from save data. All right. It says possible null reference, but that should not be nullable. Farm save data was... Something's wrong with this. What is null with this? Save data? I don't understand why it's saying this if it doesn't also say this about farm data. Like, why did this not need to be an exclamation mark? And this too. That would make sense. But this one, it doesn't require it for. I don't understand why. This is potentially null. Oh, I checked here. Oh my God, I didn't see that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, cool. I missed that. Thank you, Kevin. That video is depressing. This one. Yep, yeah, thanks. It's just an onion video. All right, so we don't do this anymore. Let's just keep trying to rebuild until we don't have any more errors. How many do we have? Like 4? All right, this is what I was concerned with. And I think we can simplify this drastically. How do we do this? Instead of there being a list of these where we check if they're not null, etc., we say if the extractor is not null and the extractor will accept item from worker item, then just return the extractor. In fact, we could consolidate this into this and then delete all of that code. Can't convert bool question mark to bool. All right, let's try rebuilding again. Okay, what's this? Get all item destinations. This should say extractor is null. Otherwise, the extractor, we don't need the seed maker. We don't need this. This has an X. Let's keep doing this. I can do this all day, code. I'm better than you, computer. Don't get it twisted. Is it done? I think it works. Okay, now the question is, what kind of intense sorcery have we just inflicted upon this thing? So there's our extractor. Our fishing pond has 2 fish. If we grant items and click this and this, does it go to the extractor? It worked. I mean, they took a weird path here, presumably because of this scene. There must be some like weird thing going on. Yeah, the extractor's like right there. So they can't approach it from up here. They have to approach it by going around like that. But that's something we can fix too. I'm gonna not save this. Okay, now the difficulty is going to be getting the extractor to do both functions, the farm and the fishing pond. And it currently has all the fishing pond stuff, so we need to make it do what the seed maker used to do. Okay. Okay. And it can't get initialized with the fishing pond because it might not exist. Actually, it's guaranteed not to exist at the first time around. So we need to listen for when the fishing pond is created so we can set that. But it has to get constructed with the farm. So let's pass in the farm. Farm equals farm. All right, so let's copy all these things over. Good. And move this down here. Okay, good. Then the fishing pond is nullable and does start off as null. Now this stuff needs to be a bunch of trash. That's what it has to be. Ugh. I'm gonna have to fix this up separately. Hang on a sec. In the exports, let me build the kiddos card game. I'm glad you're liking it. I do think it's nice, and you come from a Unity background, right? So presumably there's some things you're gonna like and some things you're not gonna like compared to Unity. But in general, I think Godot's pretty good. And it's getting better and better. All right, something needs to set the fishing pond, which it comes from the town. Unlocked fishing pond. Nope, we can't put this here. We gotta put this here. So much better than Unity's. I remember Unity's not even really existing first party from the get-go. All right. Technically, when we do this, we should call update fish count. Hey, Alt F4, long time no see. How's it going? Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for the raid. Janitor raid. Oh, you doing cleanup today? You lopsided pixel. And hey, Siren Heart. I think the biggest gripes I've had with Godot moving from Unity are resources sometimes not saving when you change data. I think if you're talking about through the editor, you should be able to set a way to have it autosave. Anyway, for anyone new here, I've been working on Skelecoding for the last year or so, and we've been revamping some of the systems in the game to make it clearer for people what's going on and just how to play the game, basically. So the overview of the game is you were an adventurer and you died. You became a skeleton and you started your own town. So then you start hiring adventurers who are actually alive and you send them to battle. They'll fight automatically for you. And then when they win, they'll get items, which you can then go sell in your town. So like this person wants a blue potion, so they're willing to tip for it. So they gave me 23 gold, and I can use that money to upgrade my town. And there are a lot of different things you can build and things you can upgrade. And what we've been working on lately has been, we have this farm and we have the fishing pond, and they're both ways of producing food. You either get crops or you get fish. And we need to make a way for you to cook that food. It's not really going to be that exactly. And that's kind of what we're doing now. And then with the cooked food, you'll level up your adventurers by spending some amount of like food. It's like experience points pretty much. So yeah, so what we're doing right now is we have this machine here. This is the extractor. We used to have one of these for the fishing pond and one of these for the farm. And the way it works is when you get potions and this thing is turned on, your workers will automatically bring potions to it and it will extract seeds and fish eggs out of it. And it doesn't know how to do that right now because we have this maxed out. But if I click that, then they should start bringing potions there. Yeah, so these are walking over here. They're taking a weird path because I haven't finished working on this yet. But yeah, they're filling up the fishing pond. So now we have 6 fish in the pond. And they should also be planting crops, but that's not a thing yet. I have not played Conan Exiles, no. Was that the MMO? So we're trying to consolidate these things. Will accept items. So this is overridden. Okay, so we need like a will accept item for the pond. Private bool will accept item for fishing pond. Item. That's this. And then we need the same version for the farm. So let's put that here. Make that private. Put for farm at the end, I guess. Now this assumes that the fishing pond exists. So if the fishing pond doesn't exist, then we return false. Yeah. All right, so now just will accept item is going to be the combination of those two things, which I assume the AI should know that I want to do. Yes, good, perfect. This is one of the times where it's really nice to have AI, because like how many characters did that just save me? I wouldn't have typed out the whole thing, right? I would have auto-completed, but still, what, 20 characters or something? Typed out the whole line for me. Chronic, thanks for the resub. No one deserves this more. Love your content. Thank you very much. And I am doing well. I hope you're doing well too. Basically a spiritual Rust. I haven't played Rust either. I missed Chronic's joke there, but I like it. Okay, so now we have will accept item for this. Now we need to, when it does accept the item, do something. Let's update seed count. Lana, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Pandar. Hi, everybody. How's it going? How's everything? How's everyone doing today? We've gotten some very generous raids today, so I appreciate it. We're still working on Skelecoding for anyone who's been here before from Lana's stream. Still the same game. This time we're working on making the farm and the fishing pond a little bit more functional. Right now they had ways of obtaining food and fish and you just couldn't do anything with them. And now we're going to make it so that you level up your adventurers by spending the food that you get. So yeah. So, oh, by the way, check out this new battle map if you haven't seen this in a while. This is looking great. We have custom artwork for every place in the map. And yeah, anywhere you've unlocked, you can... Oh, I don't have enough money. Hang on a second. I'm gonna give myself some money. Anywhere you've unlocked... Wait a sec. Why is that grayed out? It thinks I've already fully upgraded this. That's strange. I wonder if I broke something. I probably did. Hey, Owner King. And Steph and Alfie. Yeah, anyway, I was going to show off kind of how this stuff looked, but I think that's a new bug. Yeah, it has come a really long way. And I'm really looking forward to having these new systems in the game too. Let me write this down for now. Bug. The portal couldn't be upgraded, and it thought I had every location already. I don't know why that happened. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm going to just be coding for the next, like, probably couple hours. And our main goal right now is what I just kind of mentioned. We're consolidating some of the things from the fishing pond and the farm. And I feel like we're close. We're just not there yet. All right, so what happens when you turn in the items? Turn in item called update seed count. This presumably took from the accumulated value. Yeah. We needed to... How's this going to work? We needed to apply the value to both the farm and the fishing pond. Lana bandana. Is this an in-joke? Sounds like good eating for a 24-hour stream. Oh, I'm definitely never doing one of those. I guess never say never, but I think I'd be toast after like 10 hours. But I probably will go a little bit long today. Even the like couple of hours would be going long. All right, so turn in item has update seed count. We want to only modify the accumulated item value after doing these things. What does the base function do here? Okay. Place item in extractor. That should be renamed. Make sure extractor doesn't show up anywhere anymore. Hey, pool shot. Howdy, howdy. Okay, this is all good. Yeah, that's all good. This part is not as good. So we need to know how much we would have used from these things. Try out Cursor or any AI code editor. Be interesting to see how that can make you more or less productive. I'm using Copilot with this, and I think it is making me more productive. But I tend to just use it for smart autocomplete and not for a chat kind of thing or like a write this feature for me. So I'm still kind of largely doing this stuff myself. I think it'd be a little bit tough to try one of those and get into that habit. Like I have an idea for how I want to do something. And I don't mind when I'm writing one function and it's like, hey, here's what you might want for this one function. That's not too much to review. But I think it'd be a stark mental shift for me to change to it writing most of the code and then me just validating it. Probably worth trying to make an entire game that way at some point, though. Here you go, Deke. I declined 3/4 of the suggestions. The last quarter, I accept, are a nice time save. Yeah. I assume that's what SCE means. Thank you for the resub, Godik. Happy 4 and a 12th years. All right, so we need to know how much of this we're going to use and then use the larger of the two values. So how do we do that? Figure out seeds to give, then just return that times that. Yeah. So int return seeds to give times base item value per seed. Why is this? Oh, this should be a long. And then we don't do this here anymore. So now we get, this is like farm value used. Then we need the same, oh, darn it. This is the wrong file. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, let's put this in the right file. Update seed count. Yeah, so this goes here. Turn in item. Then we do the same thing for this. This returns a long. We only do this if the fishing pond actually exists. So if it doesn't, then just return 0. And then don't do this and return that. Yeah. And then we put this same thing up here. Fish or like pond value used. And then we take the larger of the two. This minus equal math.max of the two. Where'd you get that awesome hoodie? I just searched for it on Amazon and someone had just made it somehow. I'm kidding. I put it on Amazon, but I think you have to type Skelecoding hoodie for it to show up. Yeah. I don't have links to it. And part of the reason I don't have links is because of how weird Amazon's linking system is. And like your local Amazon might have a slightly different link. I think I put them on all the main Amazon sites, which I think is like US, UK, Italy, France, Spain, and Germany, I think. And then any countries that aren't those sometimes farm from those sites. So anyway, you should have access to it if you're looking for it, but I don't have the link. I sure hope I got this working. Update fish count is going to modify how much accumulated value you have, which means we can't just call this anymore. Oh boy. All right, where's this called? Load from save data. I guess it's got to be the same thing as like turn in item. So we just say like update counts of everything. Private void try using accumulated value. And then put this stuff here. And then stop doing what I just did. Try using accumulated value. Yeah. And same thing when loading from a save file. How did I set that up? Amazon merch. Let me see if I can link you to this. Where is this? This one, I think. Drop shipped. Well, so Amazon is controlling basically every single part of this, including logistics. So it's not really drop shipping. I think they're even doing the screen printing onto the shirts. Drop shipping is typically like you are paying some middle person to order a thing for you to your place. So it's like that middle person is providing basically no value. Amazon's providing a ton of value in this case. They're handling like the distribution, the logistics, the screen printing, the sourcing of materials. Like, yeah. Where's the FAQ? There was some way you get started with this, and I don't know how you do that, Wendy, because I think they had something a while ago where if you were a Twitch partner, you immediately got access to Amazon merch. And that might be how I got in. I don't know how you'd get in otherwise, but there's got to be a route. No idea they had that. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's open to the general public, but there are sites that are open to the general public. So sites like Redbubble, for example. Let me see if I can find this. That's weird. No, maybe it wasn't Redbubble. Is Zazzle the name of a site? Maybe it was this. I have no idea where that thing was. Anyway, I made a Skeleseller mug somewhere, and that was totally free. I'm too unknown and hated. Yeah, you should be able to use sites like Redbubble or Zazzle. And I think they charge a little bit more, and they're probably a little less reliable, but it does what you'd expect it to do. All right, anywhere else that we have update fishing count? Update fish count. No, just there. Okay, I think we're good. And I think this should all work. Let's go try it out. I've been lurking all this time. Oh, this particular segment of the stream has only been an hour and a half. I tend to stream about 6 or 7 hours per day that I stream. Oh, this is not guaranteed to work anymore. This has to be the farm. Yeah, and then when we unlock the fishing pond, we have to set that. But that means that when we load from a save file, this won't be set. Great. Hang on a second. Let me think about this. It's going to try using the accumulated value immediately. This is probably a bad idea. Load from save data. Where do we do this? We load the fishing pond in, then the farm. So we could know that the fishing pond exists when we're here. And we could set that. If, do we have the town? Yeah, if town.fishing pond is on null, then set it. Yeah, that would work perfectly. All right, let's try it. Ooh. Wendy, you trying to make a Stargunners hoodie? Or Twilight Monk? All right, so how do we do this? We test with just the farm at first. So we turn this on and give ourselves some potions. And then if I drag this here, we should get a seed. Yes. And then 2 seeds. Good. Then I build the fishing pond. And we cross our fingers. We should get 1 seed and then eventually a 3rd fish. It takes a lot of potions to get a fish, or I broke something. Yeah, I'm guessing I broke something. We'll have him do 1 more trip of potions. But if that doesn't work, then I probably broke this. I almost certainly did. Huh. Did I ever set the pond? It should be set, but it's possible that it's not. So let's go take a look. Also possible that this is a dumb idea. No, maybe that's working fine. All right, let's take a look. When you turn in an item, what happens? All right, so now we click that, and it should break in. Perfect. Try using accumulated value. So we go to fish count. This should be set. It is. Okay, good. So what happens here? Fish to give 0. Accumulated item value is 4. Oh, I know what's going on. We're using all of the value on the seeds because seeds reset every 5 gold, and nothing I brought in here was worth 100 gold, basically. Yeah, we're gonna have pipes. Yeah, I don't know about the sprinklers, but we're gonna have pipes from the machine that we have here at least. Instead of sprinklers, I was thinking we just have the well fill up, which is not as interesting. Okay, how do we fix this? So this calls plant seeds, but it doesn't tell us if it worked or not. Plant seeds might fail. We need to know whether it's going to fail. So we need to know how many plots it has that are empty. Do we have a function for that already? No, empty plots. Wow, yes we do. So seeds to give is going to be this. And then it's the minimum of the number of empty plots or that. Why does that fail? Object reference is required. Oh, it's lowercase. Okay, there. That fixes it for the farm, but then we have the same problem for the pond. The pond needs to know how many fish can go in it, which that had better be obvious. Do we have, like... We have fish count and we have max fish. So number of fish that can go in it is the max minus the fish count. Do we ever do that somewhere? We just clamp. That's fine. All right, so fish to give math.min of fishing. I'll make a thing for it. I think that's fine. Public int num fish that can be added. I don't know. There's probably a better name for that. We'll just call it that for now. So it's fishing pond dot that. All right. I think we're good. So this isn't fish to give. This is like fish given. Oh, let's try it out. Yeah, debug output would definitely help. I should consider doing that. All right, so we're going to try this again. We turn this thing on. We need to bring 50 gold worth of potions. So I'm going to only make blue potions here, which means that we need 17 of those potions. I'm not going to count this. I forgot I left the breakpoint in. So the farm's going to fill up pretty much immediately. And that apparently wasn't 17 potions, but we're probably pretty close. So let's go make a whole other bunch of these. Yeah, so one of these skeletons is going to bring the final potion, and it should say 3. It worked. Okay, now they should stop bringing potions there altogether and should instead bring them to the shops. But as soon as I harvest a crop, then they should bring them back to this machine. They are not. Why are they not? That's strange. Will accept item for farm. What is this set to? Number of empty plots is greater than 0. Oh, I see. The accumulated value is too high. So this doesn't do anything. So it won't accept an item. So it's that we need to use the accumulated value that we have, which will probably be confusing for people. Now, I wonder if there's a way to make this easier. I don't know. But one thing we could do to fix this problem is every time you harvest a crop or you catch a fish, we could try running this function again, try using accumulated value. because that's our real issue. We need to call this function. Why did that happen though? All right, let's print out the accumulated value. This number would have to be very high, right? What is this number? Empty plots time. This is just 0. Yeah. Wait, no, it can't be 0. There are 2 plots that I had. And base value per seed is what? 2? So it'd be 4. So this is 4. So then this needs to be greater than or equal to 4. And value to be turned in. I guess it could have 3 accumulated. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's possible the numbers work out this way. At least the repro is very easy. Yeah, all we need to do is call this function, like I said. We just need to call this every time a crop is harvested or you catch a fish. All right, well, do we have signals for those? Of course not. Of course not. Yeah. What is this keyboard? It's a corn keyboard. Okay, so I need a signal out of here and I need a signal out of the fishing pond for when you catch a fish. We don't have either of those, do we? Oh, we have fish count changed. Oh, that's technically when it rises as well. Why do we even listen for this? Over the battle system? So we need to know only when it decreased. We could listen for it no matter what and just check how many fish are there. It's a constant time check. So yeah, all right. I think that's fine. And then the farm just needs when you harvested something, which is really just number of empty plots. Oh, which is not just when you harvested something. It's also when the maximum changes. Oh God, this is too bad. Okay, let's try something then. So we give them a bunch of potions and we click this. Does this make this work? Yes. That's good. But yeah. Okay, so we need an event here. This is going to be num empty plots changed. Yeah, and this happens in 2 different cases. One is you harvested a crop. What makes the crop free? There's a tween here. That sets it to null. So this is the plot just became empty. So we need a signal for that. Yeah. Plot or like became empty. And we don't need a crop there. And we set this here. Okay. There's that. Now this thing listens for that. And we invoke this. With the number of empty plots. Cool. Then the fishing pond already has fish count change. There's one other place we need to call this though, which is when you upgrade this. Where does that happen? Create plots. We need to know that the size of the farm actually changed. I guess this is where we create plots. How do we know? I guess we'll just put this here. Created plot. And then if created plot, say the number changed. Cool. Thank I can use that key. It's really not too bad once you get used to it. Okay, there's one last thing I need to do, and that's listen for these two things. Actually, technically one more thing after that, I guess, which is the fishing pond should emit a signal when the maximum number of fish changes, which the extractor can use to try spending its accumulated value. This concept of accumulated value is definitely weird. What are you going to do, though? Here's what patterns you use to structure your file, so this is easier. One problem I have, trying to go to clean code approach. I'm not sure what to name communication service if I need to break it down into, for example, communication push notification service. I don't think naming probably matters too much, to be honest, because names are typically pretty easy to change in code bases. I think what matters is how you're splitting code. And I think generally you should try to think about it in terms of responsibilities. Like this happened the other day. I made the other day, it happened yesterday, I think. I have this code here. And we have, let me show you what this represents. This button says unlock skill and has a gold cost. That cost 5 changes when you unlock a skill. So now it's 25. I click it again, it turns to 50. But it also changes based on how many adventurers you have. So now my mage has a cost of 25. And when I spend the money on that, it goes to 45. So I have like a cost formula for this basically. It was at first this unlock button, all this needed to do is just say something like unlock button dot text equals whatever, 50 gold, right? It's just always going to be 50. Let's say this is dead simple at this point. Oh, free technique. Hey, welcome back. I just realized I haven't checked Discord yet today. Yeah, you should go check it. And thanks for the resub. If you had a constant cost, it would be one line of code to write this, right? It doesn't really matter who owns this one line of code. It's not a big deal. But I ended up writing an entire skill calculator class for this. All of this code, it would be tempting to just have put it into like this. Imagine this was, 200 more lines of code here. That is not the responsibility of this button. It's not something you'd expect this class to do. It's something you'd expect to have some like formula, some caching maybe, etc. So like figuring out where that stuff should go, I think is important. Mexi, thank you for the sub. Welcome in. I don't think I've ever seen you say something in this channel now. Yeah, and no worries, no need to. Just thank you. Sure, for sure. But then where do you put that file? So this is, I think, as far as folders and files go, it's just put it wherever makes sense for you. And if it stops making sense at some point, then change it up. So at first, you probably just have a source folder and you put, main dot whatever CS in there, C++ or something like that. And you put your, calculator class or something that you have in there. And then you start doing things like, okay, some math functions and I don't know, I'm just gonna put like add.cs. You're like, a pattern's emerging here. These are all like math related things. So you make a new folder, math, and you put those in there. And that's it. You just do that whenever you notice there's a pattern between some files. This is all assuming you're bundling it all into the same executable or downloadable package. If you're not, then you might want to split based on the packages, in which case you just do this at a higher level. You have packages and like package 1 and then the source of that, and then your math thing, and then all these things. So yeah, I think it's mostly about try to keep your functions small, try to keep your files small, and try to figure out places where you can move responsibilities around. I think something that's kind of interesting is, let's say you had some class, who knows what class, just some class here. And you had functions like this, function foo, and it takes in some, let's just say like an animal, a, and it says like a.speak. And then you have another function here, and yeah, sure. Bar, and it does something else here. This class is only ever operating on animals. So like possibly this stuff should just be in the animal class itself. Like there are certain patterns you notice that indicate you're probably doing something wrong. Another thing is like a gigantic if else chain. If you have something like this, then probably there's a better way to do it. Good short content. Yeah, I think I'd have to like really trim this down for short content. So something like the folder naming that I said, I think that could be short content. That could take like 30 seconds or 45 seconds. But the stuff about splitting files and everything, I'd probably need to show examples and like a real world thing. And yeah. Okay, so now the extractor needs to listen to these things, which it can do through a init, at least for the farm. Farm.on num empty plots change. Yeah, here we go. That's exactly what I want. And then when you get the fishing pond, we set this in 2 different locations. We got to be very, very careful about this stuff. Yeah, there should be a set fishing pond function. This should probably just be named set fishing pond. And I had to reload for a while. Come on. All right, set fishing pond. This is only gonna be done if this thing is not null. No, actually, it doesn't matter if it's null or not. It could potentially set it to a null thing, and that's okay. All right, we just need to make sure we're calling this everywhere. And we are definitely not because of this. All right, and there was a reason for this, which is that if this thing is not null, I guess we can check board here. If fishing pond is not null, then we do that, and we listen for its fish count changed. Except for that's not what it's called, is it? It is called that. But it takes in an integer. We need to know that there is... I guess every time this goes up, we're going to try to use this. What does this do? Empty plots. You know what we could do? No, we can't. Okay. Don't prematurely optimize. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we just need to clean this up now. So this is an int that we just ignore, at which point... Wait, this also takes an int? All right, num empty plots, I guess. Same thing with this. Fish count. Dereference of possibly null value. Because I wrote the wrong thing here. Let me get rid of this stuff. Percent equals. Okay. Oh, I hope this works. We got to do exactly what we did the last time, but now it should be fixed. So we unlock this and the farm. Oh, technically, that should not have been possible. Let's undo that. Let's unlock the farm and then the fishing pond. Yeah, then we turn this on and we make 1,000,000 items. Okay, so they're going to put everything in until there are 4 seeds and 3 fish. I didn't have enough potions for that. That was overly hopeful of me that 3 would do it. I think it should have, though. Okay, that worked. Now, what was it printing out for accumulated value there? Oh, darn it. Darn it. No, we do need 2 different accumulated values. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is dumb. I didn't realize it was dumb until just now. Oh yeah, the loading mana crystal has been there for a while. Kevin added that. Yeah, so the problem is this. Every 2 gold, you get a seed. And every 50 gold, you get a fish. So if you put in a potion worth 4 gold, you will get 2 seeds. And then you'll have 0 value, 0 gold left over. So you didn't get a fraction of a fish, but you should be getting a fraction of a fish. So there are actually 2 ways to do this. One is, well, no, it doesn't matter. The better way to do this is just track 2 independent accumulated values. One for fish, one for the farm. Bottom of the week to ya. Hey, Leftist. Yeah, I think this is what we have to do. That way, let's say your farm could hold 1,000 seeds. You're not going to plant 1,000 seeds before you get one fish. Whereas that's how it's going to work right now because of how we coded this. And I do say we very importantly there, chat. This was mostly your fault. You should have told me. Tisk. All right, well, it should be easy enough to fix, I think. Unfortunately, it's going to break what item machine does. Which means it's actually going to be hard to fix, huh? Because we have accumulated item value up here. And item value to be turned in. And we need to split this for two different things. Yeah. Okay, I think one of the important questions is, will we ever have an item machine like this again in the game? Because if we will, then we do want to extend this class that we already have. Let me think about this. Model the extractor as 2 item machines. I had thought about that, but an item machine is actually a node. So we're going to have references to things like this stuff. So we'd have to extract out the concept of an item machine so that it's just code and not also a Godot node. But I wonder if there's a way to do this without violating this that's here, this accumulated value. Let me think about this. Oh, maybe what we could do is we could treat this as... Hang on, how would we do this? No, it'd be very obtuse, I think, to use this. I think there is a way to do it. It's just probably not great. No, you have 2 nodes and hide one of them. Does not sound like a good idea to me. So yeah. Yeah, either way, there need to be some glue code connecting these. I guess what I'm thinking of is I could just put all the extractor code in here, and then we don't have this assumption of like there's one accumulated value and one item value to be turned in. We could just keep track of it in terms of the fish and the farm. Let me think about this for a little bit longer, though. Maybe there's some other way we could do this. So the problem is what I described above, but the original problem we were trying to solve is what happens if you turn in an item that isn't worth at least 1 seed or 1 fish? And our solution was we track the value of that item to apply later. That way we don't punish you for not having valuable enough items or turning in too much. Could we have solved this in a different way, I guess? I think we just need 2 values. Then we need to save 2 values. We could treat the base class's value like it's the farm value and then add in another value for the fishing pond here. It's just anything the base class does needs to be done for both of these things, huh? Yeah. Get item quantity be accepted. This is overridden, right? Yes. Yeah. No, even what I'm trying to do is going to cause a slightly different problem. Oh man, I'm glad I thought of this. This will cause a different problem. You only use the farm and plant and harvest like 10,000 seeds. The fishing value will now be 20K. So as you harvest or as you catch fish, you'll immediately repopulate without ever having to spend money. Or spend potions, I guess. So, okay, we got to change the logic of how this should even work. I got to take a quick break before I do this. But yeah, this is the problem. Figure out how this will even make sense before trying to code it. Like, what functionality do I want? But I'll be back in just a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, it should be starting up. I don't know what's going on right now. Oh, we have a spinning. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so if you're on Twitch chat, you can type join and you can play. Have fun jumping. I'll be back in a little bit. Matt, that was very cheeky of you. Close the game. Gotta get that last jump in. I said close the game. Close the game. Okay. Yeah, I think Kevin had said, I don't see how that last bit happens. So the way that it currently works, it's not possible, but that's how we ran into this other problem here, which maybe we just say it's not a problem. I don't know. No, it kind of is a problem. Oh man, yeah, I don't know what we do here exactly. Maybe we cap how much you get then, I guess. Yeah, I guess we could do that. We could cap how much this accumulated value could go when you, yeah, that's it. Yeah. To value. Yeah. So it can't rise if you are already at the max fish or crops. Yeah. So now the question is, should we make some model out of this? It's already capped by whether the pond or farm are full or the accumulated value would fill it. At that point, we reject items. Yeah, that's how it worked before this. But if we track independent values, like the way I was thinking about it is you bring a potion worth whatever, 500 gold into the extractor. So now that means 500 gold goes to the farm for seeds and goes to the fish or to the pond for eggs. So this 500 gold may push us like way beyond the limit, and then we could still be adding more money for eggs, but we don't need seeds anymore. Hey, APX. Try to make the RPG boss battle I keep wanting to make. Yeah, definitely. But we could just cap it anyway. Couldn't you simplify it and fund both the farm and pond with everything put in equally? I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So the game design problem we're trying to solve here is the farm and the pond both have the same inputs and outputs and just work differently. So potions are put in and food is taken out. So we need some way of saying you don't have to pick between the two systems. And that's where we get this extractor. And the extractor goes to both the farm and the fishing pond. So you're basically putting a potion in and kind of duplicating it to produce both seeds and fish eggs. So it's kind of like it's being split equally, sort of. Like maybe the way you were thinking about it is you put in 500 gold worth of stuff into the extractor, and these are 250 gold goes to each one of these things. This would be you essentially having to choose which system is better for you. And I don't want players to have to make that choice. I think I want them to just fuel both of the systems. So yeah, I think we track a separate accumulated value for each of these, and we just need a way of modeling this now that works. All this stuff that we have, oh man, we need to do something like these things. The item machine, when it turns something in, I need something that can run this with some kind of like destination for each thing. But I guess the item machine still needs to be modified because it just has accumulated value here. And this is tied into something that happens in this base class. So I don't think there's a way of doing this without modifying this base class. And it just makes me think, is this violating something? Like, I know I'm violating one of my own coding principles, so you ain't gonna need it. I don't have a plan to use this machine anywhere else. So I shouldn't worry about accommodating what happens if we use it in the future. And that's it. That's like full stop. That's where I want to be. But out of academic curiosity, how would I do this if I needed this in the future? Could be based on the seed or fish value, so they're equally as valuable, kind of. In any case, you either ditch the item machine or modify it. Yeah. And how would I do this? So I have the item machine. So what item machine represents right now is a thing that takes potions and produces something. And what I need is a thing that takes potions and produces two things. And we don't have a way of doing the two somethings. So we would need to make this generic such that it could produce two things. So it doesn't need to just track one accumulated value. So I guess what we'd be doing is bumping accumulated value to the child class. I wonder if that would work. Generalize it and natively support multiple buses. Well, why not n things then? Yeah. So if we get it working for 2, it'd be probably trivially easy to get it working for n. Although I don't have a need for n things unless you say n is 2. So yeah, should we do that? Is it worth it? And then we need to track accumulated value for however many things you want. This is the only place we use accumulated values here. So we need to save this for however many items are to be turned in. Even then, it's not that important. So I guess this isn't that hard to do, is it? Yeah, I guess it's not that hard. You don't right now. Yeah, but like I said, you ain't gonna need it principle, and I strongly believe in this. It's not worth coding for future scenarios because you may never encounter that future scenario. I mean, don't kind of stupidly paint yourself into a corner either. But in a lot of times, people might be like, well, what if we have, 7 outputs and 6 inputs? And it's like, well, we don't right now. So all we would need to do is have some way of altering the accumulated value here. So I guess item machine is already pretty generic. Wait, no, there's this right here. What? I searched for this. It didn't show up. Okay, so there are 2 places this is modified. Turn in item. So we just need a function that says like acquired item. That's it. Okay, easy. That's not a bad idea. I'll put the hyphen in there too. If I do this, I should say that this isn't news, but the more you hear this, the better. Yeah, I think this will be pretty easy. So we add in a protected virtual void, modify accumulated item value. I guess, what is this, a long? Long, yeah, long delta. And throw new not implemented exception. That's it. That's all we do. Now we call this from here item value. And we need a set as well because of this. Oh, we could assume this is 0. No, we should just make a set. I guess technically all we need is the set then, huh? Set accumulated item value. Wait, can we get by with just one of these? We're not going to track accumulated value here at all anymore. That's going to be up to the child class to do, which means now this is impossible. Which means we've now thoroughly broken how you save this, but that's okay. Yeah, so now this is going to be set accumulated item value to this. Set is already available. The setter is protected. Oh, you mean this? The problem is we're storing it right now in one property. It's going to need to be stored in like a list in the child class. I guess the setter doesn't exist. Well, still, even if I hadn't commented this out right now, the child class needs to have a list of accumulated item values or a dictionary or something. So just overriding this property, I guess you could back it by a dictionary probably and override the setter. Would that work? Parent class just calls set accumulated value. It adds in like 50 gold. And then the child class listens to it getting changed and adds 50. No, I think you need to know that it was modified, not just that it was set. I think they need to be 2 different functions. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But I'm not totally sure. Anyway, now we go override these things. So these virtuals change to overrides. And the way this is going to work is we're going to keep track of a dictionary of what is our key? These things don't inherit from the same thing. Well, I guess they're nodes. We could just make them be nodes, I guess. Yeah, there could be an enumeration there. I'm debating on what I want to do for this. It could even just be a Boolean where true represents farm and false represents a fishing pond. But I'd rather make an enumeration if I were to do that. Yeah, let's make an enumeration. Let's not do something stupid here. How do we make one here? Yeah, like this. Except for we want this thing to be private, probably. So this is going to be extractor destination. Yeah, and it's going to be farm or it's going to be pond. And then our dictionary is going to be an extractor destination to the accumulated value. This is accumulated values. And then I guess we make this read only. We need to put this at the top if we do that. All right, hooray. Now it's just saying this is unused. Unused private field. A field should not follow an enumeration. Where does this belong? Like down here? And now what? This is too high up? Doing a little dev dance. Stealing Wendy's idea. Yep, cool. Okay, this is looking good. So now when we initialize this, we set the farm to 0. Actually, I guess we could just set both of these to 0. Yeah. In which case, we could have initialized this up here. I don't know what the syntax of that is. Sure love that. Like that? Hey, nice. I figured it out. So where's the thing I set to 0? Here they are. Delete those. Now it says just, yeah, remove unused. Okay, now what? Now we, oh God. The complexity. Yeah, so this thing about returning how many seeds we needed is now no longer a thing. Before I forget though, when you load from a save file, we need to set this stuff, which I guess is what the parent class does. Item machine is here. We should just delete this file. And same thing with extractor. And then close out of pretty much everything. Yeah, this calls set value. I guess we don't even need a set value function because we already have load from save data as virtual. So this can do whatever we would have done in a set function. All right, then let's do that. Could have a generic to hold extra data if that's something you need now. I was thinking of just making a new save data class that matches exactly what we need for this. And then in the future, should we ever reuse item machine, we refactor that one part of the save data. Because I don't think it's worth making everything generic here. How do we even do that? We need to save accumulated value as just something, but we don't know what the something is. Because there could be an item machine that saves that as a long. Yeah, it could extend it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. But I was still just going to make one class, extractor save data, and just delete item machine save data. Yeah, so I don't think we need this anymore. And if we don't need that, then we don't need this. Soy Pete, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, peeps. How was your stream? What were you doing? We are struggling our way through something over here. This isn't gonna exist. All right, so we gotta save these things as a dictionary that just gets loaded into this class, I guess. I'll come back to that. I'll write this out as a to-do item. To do, I guess, load the dictionary of accumulated values correctly. Ran into a big refactor, decided to call it. I know the feeling. What were you working on, though? Okay, do we ever save this? Skeleseller save. Whoops. Huh, it's not a command. There it is. Game source save. And then I want to search for dictionary. Aha, we do this. Okay, good. So this shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I'll just write a note. Look through this for examples. Okay, so we have not loaded accumulated values here. And it should have been something like this. All right, now when it comes to using the values, there's no try using one accumulated value. It's try using all of them. So the thing about update seed count and update fish count can be back to what they were, I think. Yeah. That's what we have to do. AI bot trying to sync the 20 questions game it plays on Discord to the database. Oh, cool. Is it working to the point where it can stump human players? Or I guess not. I guess that's not possible. I mean, the other way around. Is it working where human players can't beat it? Wait, does that make sense? What is it I'm trying to say? Yeah. Yeah, where the bot always guesses what you have in mind. Because there was some physical device that did this a while ago, and I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, you would think of something, and then it would guess. It would ask 20 questions and figure out whatever it was you were thinking of, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's like Akinator. That was the software, right? Crashes before it can guess what we have in mind. Oh, okay. Hence the refactoring, I guess. All right, this needs to be changed back to what it was. Which we take from Seed Maker. Very much in development. Yes, elephant, but it can't do more than that. It's pretty cool though. It's probably fun to work with. Are you using an API for your AI, or is it something you're running locally? So I want this to be here. And now the accumulated item value we're going to get is going to be, yeah, that. Okay. Okay, so now we don't care about this stuff. It's just going to be update seed count, update fish count. And then the fish count one has to be the exact same way that we just had. Oh yeah, this is going great. Trust me. Oh man. Not gonna give up though. It should do the same thing that it doesn't matter. I'll just type it out. Okay, this doesn't need to return void. I guess this is just if it's null, return. This is will accept item for fishing pond. Is that? And will accept item for farm is that. Open source quantized llama 3.1. Oh, good. Yeah, that's cool. So at least it doesn't cost money every time you Crash the bot and have to start it up again, refactor. I guess technically it does, right? It's your own computing resources, but you're still paying for electricity and the wear and tear and whatever else, but very different. It's possible this is working. I kind of lost track. Okay, so it'll accept an item if it'll accept an item for either one of these things. And then when it accepts an item, there should be a turn in item somewhere, right? Here it is. Try using the accumulated value. That's fine. Oh, I guess the problem is this. There's a not implemented thing. This, yes. Ah, exactly. I think all we have to do is go through each key in our accumulated values thing. Yes, something like this, and just delete all that nonsense. Let's just, yeah, it's extractor destination. Destination in accumulated values dot what keys? Yeah. That should do it, I think. All right, I'm gonna try running this finally. Oh man. Oh yeah, extractor doesn't have a save data now. Yeah, we can go make this really fast. Item machine save data. So this isn't gonna exist anymore. At least I don't care to keep it. And I apparently deleted the other one. No, I just named it this. Yeah. All right, so there's going to be accumulated value as a dictionary, which is where we have our to-do item over here, load from save data. So this says to look through these. We have some examples here. We'll just load that up. And this just needs to take in our dictionary that we have, which probably means this needs to be a public enumeration and not a private one anymore. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be extractor destination. It can't find that? That's strange. It usually would suggest to import that. Huh. Well, there it goes. All right, and then along, and this is accumulated values. And then we save this here, like we do for the enchanter save data. Okay. Pedro, I like that. Soy Pedro. And then we need to construct this properly. So now whatever was here for item machine needs to go into extractor. Yeah. Extractor destination. Didn't know you could use using the inner enumeration. Yeah, good call. Oh, using static. Interesting. Oh man. All right, we're almost done with this. So we return the accumulated values like that. And then this does need to be made private. How fun. This is probably where inheriting from a parent class would have been fine. But we're not doing that. I'm not going to spend the time. All right, lever, you become public, or not public, protected. And you move down to here with the other protected stuff. And you get your own get private set. And then a makeover in the form of a capital letter. Levier. You turned into a Harry Potter spell somehow. I don't know what happened there. I make no typos. All right, this is how I got scene scripts here. All right, how we doing? I see there's an error in town, but is that the only one? Ah, yeah, because extractor save data is the wrong type. Extractor save data. Wingardium Levier. So now this is or item machine save data. Does it build? Still no because of this. Load from save data is taking the wrong type. Oh, and then I need to finish the to-do item that we had here. This should be pretty easy though, right? We can just set this to... I guess we can't technically do this exactly how I want to do this. Key value. Destination. Value. Okay, there is no base load data because this doesn't exist. Ah, such is our problem. So we either need to compose or inherit from this thing. Yeah. Or you could just pass in a Boolean because that's all we need from here. Or just call this from the root class or the, this doesn't matter. I'm just leaving this. All right, are we doing it? Are we doing it yet? This needs to add in the save data item to be turned in. Yeah, this. All right. Oh, and then that had a comment. We can't delete the comment. That was very important. Where did that go? Item machine here. Okay. Oh, God. Why no var? It's a pretty minor reason. I just thought when you're on GitHub and you're looking at code, you don't always have an IDE to tell you what that variable type is, and sometimes that can make a difference. So like, let's say we go to whatever adventurer pane, this thing, and you're just looking. Whoops, that's not even code. Let me go to the actual C# file. Let's just go to this. Yeah, so you're looking at, I don't know, this for example here. You have like var AC equals. And you're like, oh, what does this return? Create from ability IDs? Like it's just harder to read. That's all. Did it build? Yeah, I think it ran, but I'm gonna run it again just to make sure. The question is, will this work? We used to print out the accumulated value, and I guess now we need to print out 2 accumulated values. So I guess for each, just take our same for each from the loading thing. Yeah, it's just preference. Plus, I think that the line length doesn't matter too much. Excuse me. All right, I want to print out. Let me just let the AI print this out for me. Whoa, what in the world? All right, go AI. Good job. All right, so we build the farm, we build the fishing pond. We turn this thing on. We put in a bunch of items, and we watch the accumulated value go up. Is it working? It sure looks like it's working. So now as soon as we put one more potion in, that should be it. They turn around. Yeah. But if I were to harvest this crop, they should go back over there. Yes. It says 3 fish. So the pond should not get any accumulated value. It does. Oh, but it only does up until it hits 50 again, which is going to be hard to do because I need to then harvest a whole bunch of crops. I guess we can just make it. I don't have enough money for that. I don't have money for anything. All right, there we go. Is that going to work? Why is it not granting items anymore? Oh, because I have a warehouse. please stop at 50. Oh no. It looped around. Oh, I guess that math.min stuff was needed. Okay, let's put that back in. So Jeffpack, what's kind of interesting about what you said here is that one of the new versions of .NET made it so that you can do this in a slightly different way. So now you can say some object, my object equals new. So it's actually even fewer. Wait, how is it fewer characters? I guess because you don't have the var here. Yeah. Yeah, it's even fewer characters to do it this way, and it's still, you're still not typing out the type more than once. So it's a GitHub are getting better about it. Yeah. Makes me wonder how hard it's going to be to compete with some of these sites that have been around for so many years. Working the old version of .NET. I see. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, with any convention, it's like if it's working for your code, it's working for your code. I'm not trying to change those conventions. All right, so I think if we just fix this up, we should be fine. Let me reload this. Let's do that. Believe it or not, this is going well. I probably look like I'm frustrated. I'm not super frustrated. It's taking a long time, but I mean, this does require some care here. All right, so I think this is all we need to change. We don't get, wait. This is always going to take this anyway, right? Hang on a second. What are we trying to do here? I don't have the output anymore, do I? No, I deleted it. Wait, how is that possible that I deleted it? Shouldn't get deleted. Oh, I reloaded VS Code because it was broken. Oh, well. Okay. So what happened? It got up to 48, then it hit 51, and then we tried using this value, which is always going to set it back down to 0. We just need to stop it from accumulating when it hits a certain amount. Although no one's going to know what the internal value of these things would be. But still, I think we should just do it the right way. So instead of doing fish to give equals this, we would set it to the minimum amount that we want to give them. And then only subtract the value such that it's based on the fish to give. All right. So let's do that. This goes here. And then instead of doing a modulus equals, we do minus equal this times fish to give. Then the same thing for the farm. This is minus equal this times seeds to give. And this is the minimum of these values where we use the proper accumulated item value. This is the same. This doesn't matter. Same thing up here. Okay. So that fixed one part, but now it's going to accumulate infinitely if I'm not mistaken. And we don't want it to accumulate infinitely because that would be a problem. I guess a question before I do any of this. If you have an item worth, let's say 500 gold, and you get a new fish every 50 gold, what should happen? Answer number 1. You get 9 extra fish. Answer number 2, you get 1 extra fish. And answer number 3, you get 0 extra fish. There is no other answer. It's either 0, 1, or 9. So basically, are we mean to you? So this is not the answer. And then how nice are we to you? And I don't know. I could see either one of these working. Oh, and sorry, and I meant to say, and your fish can, and your pond can only hold 1 fish. I think we go with answer 1. Yeah, I don't think we'll care too much about the internal values. The reason why I'm a little bit fretting about this is because we might have our art reflect this. So as an example right now, we have this gauge on our extractor, and we might have the art render how much your accumulated value is. so that if it's 100%, it's pointing all the way to the right. In which case, like, yeah, I guess this matters. Between 1 and 9 extra. Well, where do we accumulate this? Modify accumulated value here. So we could do, I mean, right now we're just resetting this, right? Or we let it accumulate forever. And I guess that's actually technically what we're doing now. Let's try this out. I did none of the art myself. I am very, very bad at art. I did the music myself, and I did a lot of the code. I want to see what happens here. I think they're going to accumulate infinitely based on how this is coded. Let's see. Yeah, the values went to 122 and 80. So now if I were to harvest here, it'll just plant a new seed automatically. I guess the only way to stop that is to do this. So it'll automatically plant the extra seeds. I harvest these things. It's just going to keep planting seeds. Yeah, that's the problem. I put in so many potions that it's got all the accumulated value in there. We speed this up a lot. We harvest all our carrots. It just plants with more and more carrots. We have like 31 more seeds to make it through. All right, we're about to get to the point where, yeah, now it's out of seeds. No, now it's out of seeds. So we do not plant another one, which means that now another potion could be brought here. So they should bring the potion down there. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, that's problematic. We can't do that. As a player, knowing I would get one fish every 50 gold, I'd feel cheated or log a bug if I only got one. Chances are you wouldn't notice it. Because at the time in the game when you're getting very valuable items, you'd also probably have like 76 fish in your pond and you wouldn't be paying very close attention to how you're getting fish. But yeah, I'd still like to do the right thing here. So I think what the right thing is that we don't accumulate these values infinitely. We figure out what the cap of the accumulated item is. So we basically say this is equal to this plus this with a minimum of like a get, I guess what you say is like max value allowed. And we say max value allowed. Yeah, something like this. Delete this stuff, right? Passes destination as a param name. Isn't that what it's supposed to do? How do you make one of these? Oh, I think that's right, and it's just a stale thing. Yeah, it looks like it. Can I reload and get that to actually work? All right, so this would allow you to accumulate only as much as one extra thing. Now, what we want to do is allow you to accumulate it as long as you weren't already at the max or already above the max. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't need this math.min here. So this can go back to plus equal delta. And what we do here is we say if we're already at that value, if this is already greater than or equal to max value allowed, then don't do anything. Why is this complaining? I still don't understand that part. That we've always done, right? Huh. I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see what's different between these two things, though. Destination's not arguing for the method. It has to be for the method? Okay, I see. Because in that case, it wants it to be delta. But it wouldn't know that this is the problem. I find this to be a peculiar linting issue. Can we hang on one sec? Cat's gonna start going nuts. What time is it? It's 4 o'clock. Yeah. I see a little calico paw coming in here. I'm just gonna leave this as name of Delta. I don't really care about that as long as it's not saying anything. Okay, let's try this out. You ready, Abby? Do you want to come up? Oh, hello, cat. Okay, cat. Get off the mouse cord. Hi. Okay, we turn this on. We got to do the same thing we had before. Oh, you want to just sit down? Okay, sure. Hi. Good cat. What a good cat. Oh, I see. Invalid operation. Yeah, nice. She's a good kitty. Oh, so adorable. I wonder if your eyes get green screened out, Abby. Love this cat. All right. So we're going to do the same thing we just did earlier. Let's grant a whole bunch of items. Do this. See what happens. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, wow. She's already trying to sleep. Hang on. Let me take a picture of this. Hang on. You have to see this chat. I can't reach my phone. Nope. I just spooked her. I'm sorry. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Yes. Good cat. Oh, she's purring and yawning. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, there is a demo out, but I would recommend waiting for another month, basically, because all these changes that we're making now are gonna really, really help the new player experience. But yeah, we got a lot of different systems in the game. I love the picture in your command. She looks irritated. Let me see if I can take a picture of this. Oh, she's getting up. Like, you can't be taking pictures of me. I did not do the artwork myself. Check out the credits command. And then let me show you this picture I just took. Okay, hold on, cat. I'm trying to show a picture of you. There. Look at that. This was right now when she was still sitting on me. Oh my god. That's a good one. How you transfer the photos? It was just Google Photos. So I just took the picture and it was pretty much already online. Hi. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, Abby kind of kills the productivity around here for a bit. Oh, you want to lick my hand? What a funny cat. All right, have we pretty much gotten this done? What else do we have on this list? Change the logic to query both buildings. If either one can accept it, then the whole extractor can accept it. Update tooltips and stuff. Make sure we've saved and loaded. I think we have done all this. Oh. No, she doesn't. I think she does. Okay, cat. You want to come sit down? You want to fall asleep again? Good cat. Let me do some work. Okay, art requests. Yeah, we pretty much did this. I'm happy with how this went. We have a lot of stuff left to do. We need there to be a fire slime. I think this bit about allowing fish and crops to be picked up is kind of interesting. We got to turn these into items. Delete scales, have all this other stuff work. I don't think the rest of this is all that difficult. Is game dev your full-time job? Yeah, it is. Hey, Ben. Yeah, I think this has been going pretty well. I'm pretty pleased. I could probably try to finish some of this stuff up over the weekend. I really shouldn't commit to that. This weekend is going to be crazy busy, I think. And is it so bad if I took Monday to do that then? Because I have 3 tasks I want to get done by the end of next week. It is the farming and fishing changes, which we've done a decent chunk of. Then the quest changes, which I don't think are that hard. Yeah, this does not sound very difficult. This is probably like an afternoon of work at most. And then adventure progression, which Kevin will probably help with. But the rest of this isn't too bad. It's just the UI that I think is going to be tough. Do you have a game already published? Any game, you mean? Or like, is this already published? Because this exists as a Steam demo right now. But like I said, I don't really recommend playing it. I do recommend wishlisting it, though. But any game, yeah, I've got some games that have been published before. The last big one I made was Botland. This is not currently available, but it was available. And then I took the servers offline. And I also made a game called Ophog. That's available via that link. And then a whole bunch of other games that are just in various forms that I usually either open source them or I don't release them at all. So I guess things like this. Yeah, it's a bunch of different things. She's like, she face planted into my arm. She's just trying to sleep now. Oh man. Hey, look, there I am. It's me. Wow, this is going to be so amazing once this stuff is ready. Oh, we got to change the description even for the tavern. I didn't even think about that. I got to write that down somewhere. Make sure all of the signposts have the correct text. So let me ask something. I almost always stream. I almost always stream like this, where I've got my face cam on, we've got a green screen behind me, I'm coding, and I'm usually interacting with chat a decent amount. Every once in a while, I think I want to program and I don't mind streaming, but I don't want to be visible and I don't want to talk. And I know I've asked this before, and I think people said like, it does add something to have the face cam there. Would people tune in for a stream where it was pretty much just like, I'm just coding? It's pretty much just co-working. Because it doesn't really matter to me too much either way. I don't mind doing the stuff on my own. Focus mode on. I'd hang out, yeah. Nope, no clawing at this. Hi. No, use your claws. Claws are for killing things. I joined anyway. Yeah. Did you try and run those previously? So what I did for my co-working stream was actually the worst of all the worlds. I showed just the face cam and then wasn't talking and you couldn't see what I was coding. Because for those, I was trying to work on like what I'd normally do off stream. And I thought, I might as well turn this into some on-stream thing. And that was a bad idea, I think. But this would be me working on Skelecoding. You'd still be able to see all the code and everything. But I just wouldn't be talking. But I probably won't do that. I feel like it's nice to just recharge sometimes. Yeah. By the way, we're just hanging out. I'm done with coding for the day. It's just this cat is on me now and she's licking my hand. Look at this. That is quite uncomfortable, cat. Okay, take these out of me. Do you do any contract work? No. This is all I'm doing right now. Well, not entirely, I guess. I'm doing mentoring. Is this FAQ even still correct? Yeah, this is not correct. I should update this. Let me update this tomorrow. My hand is now covered in cat saliva, so I don't want to. Monday. Update this. Yeah, I was doing on-stream mentoring, and I uploaded all those sessions to this channel. So if you're ever interested in watching a whole lot of hours of mentoring, it's there. And then after doing it for a year for free, I said, okay, let me start charging for sessions. So I've got the first paid session tomorrow morning, but I don't do that for the, I don't really know why I do it actually. I don't really care about the money, and yet they're paid sessions. And if they're private sessions, then it means that I'm not getting content out of them. I guess I do want to help people. I just feel weird about the money aspect. Yeah. Anyway, I think the next week is going to be pretty code heavy. And then I think what we're going to pivot into is a lot of the stabilization stuff. We really, really need to look at balance again. And it might not be so hard to do, but I've just been kind of making up prices for a while now in the game. Yeah. All right, I should go find someone to raid. Let's see who's online. Man, I would raid Cavino, but he's been online for like 8 hours. Oh, a lot of people I'm watching have been online for a long time. I'm actually kind of surprised that's even the case, given that I try to raid people who have low uptimes. Okay, well, let's find someone new. Let's go to the old raid thing. Same category. English. All right, anyone with a low uptime? This person. Making GB studio music. I think I want to look for someone doing more like coding stuff. Making first game. Man, I've rated so many people. There's like no one to... Oh, wait, what about this person? Let's make a new game. Okay. Ow, 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 ow. Get your claws out of me. Hey, stop it. Stop. All right, yeah, let's raid this person. Give me 1 sec. All right. Do you use LLMs? I use Copilot. Okay. Thank you all for watching. If you have not wishlisted Skeleseller and would like to help out, there's the link. It's just a button click away. I'll be back on Monday, and we're just going to pick up where we left off here, unless I make some progress over the weekend, in which case we'll pick up a little bit farther than where we left off here. But yeah, thanks again for being here. Thanks for all the support, everybody, and I will see you on Monday. Have a good one.